It's 8 o'clock in the morning here in San Antonio, Texas. And it's so good to meet all of you at the intersection between faith, community, and civic leadership. We have some special guests this morning, and we're going to hear from all of them. Most of them we'll find out together. I'm not quite sure, because as you know, the briefings all come to us from those who bring the briefing. So we're going to take a couple minutes, though, for announcements, so as many people can get into the room as possible to hear this, but we will begin pretty close to 8:05. The first announcement that I'd like to make is that there's going to be Mass this evening, 7 p.m. for Pope Francis at San Fernando Cathedral downtown. That's 7 p.m. San Fernando Cathedral tonight, downtown. The closest parking is City Tower. It's right across the street. This is Thursday. It's not free parking tonight. That's on Tuesday nights, but that's the closest if you'd want to know the closest other than like street parking and things like that, which is pretty limited around San Fernando Cathedral, as you know. Are there other announcements that people would like to share? Well, I'm sure I think of another myself. So I have another. Tuesday, May 6th, I announced this last week and I'll announce it again. Sacred, the San Antonio Community Resource Directory that powers at the intersection. And Billy or Bill are always here with us helping with technology. But they are hosting and coordinating a 3-hour symposium on compassion and resilience. That's being held at Girls Inc. on Bassey Road, which was formerly a church facility that has been transformed into a place for young women and leadership and empowerment. The doors open at 8:15 a.m. There will be breakfast and refreshments, and it ends at noon. No cost. Tell others. I'm sending it out, and so you'll be getting that information. Any other announcements? Boy, we're all right. I know we're ready for this, right? So at 8:03, a couple things before I want to get as many people into the room as we can. We got a good number, it's 34 at this time. What I'd like to invite everybody to do this morning is in chat, because we come from different places and there's a lot of us. So if we were just to make introductions of all 34 people, that would be more than our morning together. So what I would invite us all to do is in chat, if you would welcome people. And instead of placing them there where you are from, I want to invite you to place in there where you were born. Because one of the very strong things that we have in common is that we were all born babies. No matter where that was, we were all born from a mother. And I think it will be fascinating, even of the people that we might know in the screen, we might not know where they were born. That might even kind of like, what? I didn't know that. So we can do that as our way of welcome in chat again. We should be able to, some kind of greeting, but where you were born. And we got people. Oh my gosh, David. I had no idea. You were born in Korea. Switzerland. Look at this. Here we go. So it's 8:05, and I'm sure all of you read the notification yesterday, the reminder about Mother's Day and how it was formed actually as a protest and affirmation by mothers in the world, a voice of strength that all, at that time, all the men, all the boys, the husbands, the fathers would quit going to war and dying because of war. And somewhere along the way, Hallmark hijacked it, and they also keep jacking up the prices of the cards, which is just what? And but very much, Julia Ward Howe, very much a strong voice, and then it was also a really strong invitation, right, for all women. Wasn't just a statement, but it was this all women to do likewise, right? And so this morning, there are other women, mothers, who are also extending a strong invitation at this moment in time. And so I'm going to hand this over to Sister Martha and Kurt, Julie Rowe. They will be leaving for the Holy Land in a week. And we can hear more about that later, but they have gathered us together this morning to hear another mother's call, but in today's world, conflicted world of 2025. It's all yours.
I am a Catholic sister. I'm not physically a mother, but all the children of the world are my children. In 1995, I had the opportunity to be a scholar in residence at a center which was founded by the Pope between Jerusalem and Bethlehem. I walked out the back little gate, unlatching it into Bethlehem, and I walked down the path into Jerusalem. I had the opportunity starting in 1995 to meet so many women who would say, you know, we could be friends. We could share the land. Let's work on being friends. I was at an excellent conference at Hebrew University about 2000 with educators, women who work in schools like I have worked in a school all my life, who kept saying, let's educate our children to be friends, to be neighbors. So I am absolutely delighted to have these new friends, and they have been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. So listen, people, how often do we get to hang around with people nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize? So we're going to start with a little film about them.
احنا مش عمالنا منطالب في حروب، احنا بالعكس منطالب في امن، مش عمالنا منطالب في انه انا كأم ايش مطلوب مني؟ مطلوب مني اني احمي ابني.
We are all mothers. We care for our children and the children of our people and also for the children of the region. They deserve to live and they deserve to live in safety and security.
ليه ما عندناش احنا كنساء منصة خاصة فينا؟ فكرت اني اعمل نساء الشمس. تقريبا نساء الشمس اليوم تجاوزوا 3000 امرأة فلسطينية، وهي عبارة عن منظمة من الشارع الفلسطيني، من عامة الشعب الفلسطيني.
نساء الشمس بتعطي الفرص لجميع النساء بغض النظر عن فئات المجتمع، فئات النساء على المستوى التعليمي والثقافي، بتعطي الفرص للجميع وبتدعم بكل ما تستطيع من قوة يعني.
Women Wage Peace was established 10 years ago. A group of women, Israeli women from all walks of life, Jewish and Arab, Muslims, Christians, everyone joined together. We said that we cannot go on managing this conflict and we need to make a change. We work every day to elevate the popular support for peace in Israel. Our partnership with Women of the Sun is probably one of the most significant accomplishments of Women Wage Peace.
وجدنا مؤسسة بتشبهنا برضو حراك نسوي كمان عندهم تقريبا نفس الأهداف، ففكرنا إنه ليه ما نعملش خط تواصل بيننا وبينهم ونشوف الجانب الآخر لأن إحنا وياه عايشين على نفس الأرض.
Our partnership, first and foremost, shows that there are people on the other side who want peace, who work for peace daily.
الصبر كان كتير بالنسبة إلي مهم، إنه كيف بدي أتعلم. تعلمنا من خلالها إنه نسمع بعض كتير منيح.
We decided we had many events and workshops, but we wanted to do something very public, very powerful, showing leaders on both sides that thousands of women want peace. So we planned to march together. We organized a rally.
هلا احنا لما موقفنا في مسيرة 14 حاولنا نلفت انتباه العالم لانه حكينا لهم اوقفوا دائرة الدم، بدنا اولادنا يعيشوا بامان. مشينا الاف من النساء الفلسطينيات والاسرائيليات وحتى انضم لنا نساء من حول العالم.
We said goodbye on the 4th of October in the evening, very optimistic, and just then 3 days after, hell broke loose.
More than 700 Israelis are now feared dead after unprecedented attacks by Hamas militants.
Israel's response has been swift and harsh.
بالنسبة لنا 7 أكتوبر كان فاجعة، كان هو الكابوس اللي احنا صحينا عليه.
بعد 7 أكتوبر إنه ما نكملش مع بعض كثير خفت، خاصة بعد ما انقتلت فيفيان وبعد ما الكل قال فيفيان كانت من اللي أسسوا الحركة، انقتلت في أول يوم.
Many people asked me, say, are you continuing to work with Women of the Sun? Our answer was, of course, if not now, when? This is the time that we're most needed.
إحنا مع نساء يصنعن السلام عمالنا بنعمل نموذج جديد، يا ريت كل العالم ينظر له منظور كتير مهم. خذوه بعين الاعتبار، شوفوا إحنا لوين واصلين من مراحل متقدمة من التفاهم، طبخوه. قياداتنا إحنا المطلوب منهم فقط إنه يقعدوا على طاولة.
When we began working together, we never dreamt that there will be a movement, a sister movement, and it happened.
اللي الناس بتدعي بتحكي لنا إنه عملية السلام هي عملية مستحيل إنها تكون بين الفلسطيني والإسرائيلي. أنا بحكي إنه فيش إشي مستحيل مع الحياة.
That gives me so much hope. And I'd like to go right into Regula and Karen from Israel sharing with us. And I want to say that March, over a year ago, we had a guest speaker from Women Wage Peace, Avital Brown. And at that time, Lisa Epstein, Orit Elon, and some others of you got to know the group. So it's great to have the two of you with us this morning. And thank you for buying tickets for Julie and I to sit with you at the People's Peace Summit, May 8th and 9th. You're really sweet.
But you're important to us. So we were so thrilled that you both were coming.
Yeah, thank you, Marta, for coming. And thank you so much for this introduction. And thanks to all that joined here. Wow, we're quite a lot of participants already. Thanks, everybody, for organizing this. We got 5 minutes to talk after the movie about.
We'll be quick.
Yeah, so I'll go straight to the task. I'll show you a little quick presentation. Okay, let's just see. About Women Wage Peace and Women of the Sun. Women Wage Peace was founded 2014 in the aftermath of the last big round of war with Gaza. Women of the Sun was founded in 2021. Yeah, we have 50,000 members, Women Wage Peace, Israeli Peace Movement. Women of the Sun has roughly 3,000 members. It's much younger. Yeah, and we work together. Yeah. Sister Marta already talked about the Mother's Call. That was the introduction. That's the theme today. The Mother's Call, and the document is here, and I'll just give you a little introduction about it. It's the petition of Women Wage Peace and Women of the Sun together. It's a little piece of paper, and it took it 9 months to be written. Yeah, that's how it is. Also with negotiations, but we did it as women, and we signed yeah, and what we call for is we, Palestinian and Israeli women from all walks of life, are united in the human desire for a future of peace, freedom, equality, rights, and security for our children and the next generations. It goes on and on. It's a common call of the two movements together. We have to go on a different, we have to start on a different path than just another round of operations and army and violence. But we as mothers call for a different way to go. And the only solution in the end is a solution of negotiations.
I just will add that each word we made sure in the Mother's Call that it honored both sides and everybody was comfortable. And that's why it took the 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah. The picture here was taken in March 2022. That was the official signature and going public in front of Israeli and Palestinian society that we work together. It was the first publication of the Mother's Call. And we haven't stopped since. One of our calls, and part of this petition, is the resolution, UN Resolution 1325. That was years ago, 20 years ago or 25 years ago, that calls for full participation of women in all walks of life and in negotiations. And if you look at it today, who is negotiating? It's men, yeah? And it has been proven scientifically that when women are part of negotiations, there's more capabilities for success, and the peace agreements will last longer. And we have quite a few examples of this.
Yes, for instance, in Ireland, that they were part of it, the women. And if you ask the people there, they would say that they were an important key part of the talks.
Thank you, Karen. October 4th, and we also showed it in the movie. It was shown in the movie that was mentioned by Clooney, was done by George and Amal Clooney. We had a big gathering in Jerusalem and at the Dead Sea, calling for changing, that Israeli and Palestinian mothers are calling to change reality. Yeah, because we saw that things are not going into the right direction, but nobody would have imagined on either side that just 3 days after happened what happened. Yeah, October 7th, and everything that is going on there. I just show here the picture of Vivian Silver. She's one of more than 50,000 people that lost their life just in the last 1.5 years. Yeah, it started with October 7th and the attack of Hamas, and it's going on and on and on, and it's absolutely horrible, and it doesn't. There is no end in sight and nothing, just no hope. There is no.
There's the way it's going.
Stopping it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to add that there's the way it's going, and it's not hopeful, and that's why we want to change. And that Vivian was one of the founders of Women Wage Peace, and she was such a big advocate besides Women Wage Peace for it. So it was very sad and a huge loss for all of us when she was killed.
Yeah, October 7th, 2023. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So since then, Women Wage Peace and Women of the Sun, we continue working together. We said it on that same day, on October 7th, now more than ever before. Yeah. Internationally, we have received a lot of recognition. Yeah, and I just show here the main things, and it's mostly American, Clinton Global Initiative, the Clooney Foundation for Justice. For this occasion, the film was made that you've seen earlier. The picture to the right is the second nomination for the Peace Nobel Prize. We were also nominated in 2024. It went to Japan, and yeah, many people that or organizations
we're still honored.
deserve it. Yeah, we're
we're still honored for it. Yes.
Meeting with Oprah Winfrey, nomination for as the 12th most important women of the Time magazine 2024. And on the left, and we participate in your loss. Pope Francis II, less than a year ago, signed the Mother's Call.
And we're sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Women Wage Peace. We continue to work together with Women of the Sun now more than, and it's now more important than ever. We recruit new members to Women Wage Peace. We have Jewish, Arab, Muslim, Christian women. We have dialogues with different population sectors within Israel, which is very important because and you know it from your corner of the world as well, polarization of populations. We have ongoing daily street presence. You see that on the right-hand side, calling for an end of the war. We do parliamentary work and media work. And our main call today, and it changes all the time, is return the hostages, end this horrible war and start negotiations for a political solution. Women of the Sun, for them the situation is quite different. We are dedicated only to peace. Women in the Palestinian society, women empowerment is very important. Yeah, it's a patriarchal, conservative society. But we continue working. They continue to work together with us, which is not easy. We have a Building Bridges project about climate. One group talked about climate, one about is faith-based program, including Jewish, Muslim and Christian women. It was founded by USAID, and we're luckily almost at the end of it when the American president cut the funds. And we
I just want to add to what you just said. What is amazing is that we continued with these projects even with the war. We found ways to do it, whether it was doing it on Zoom or whatever, but they kept these programs going because it's very important to have this connection and to have it. And there's also people who are involved who were not involved with our organizations that came to these programs, who were working in environment or on faith-based programs. So that was very important. Yes.
Yeah, maybe just to add, you have to understand that ever since October 7th, 2023, the borders are closed. Yeah. While before we could go to Bethlehem and they could come and visit us, and the borders were open, and the borders are closed. We can practically not meet.
Or we have to work very hard to have someone do something to get. We've done that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just a couple of minutes about Women Wage Peace, Women of the Sun, the Mother's Call. We have a special website. It can be, with the barcode, it can be clicked, and we are happy when you sign the Mother's Call, if you sign up for the newsletter, and spread the news about us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Martha Ann?
This is just excellent. I am an activist. I would like for every person on this call to make a plan. How are you going to get 10 or 20 or 200 or 2,000 people signing on to the Mother's Call? Why don't you start having a table outside of your mosque or a table outside of your Lutheran church? And Julie, you have made such excellent resources to help people. Would you like to comment on the resources that you have made?
Sure. I made a two-sided flyer, 8.5 by 11, that is kind of background, and it has both the excerpts of the proclamation that Julia Ward Howe did in 1870, which starts with "Arise, ye women of the world," which is very apropos for today. And on the other side, it has the Mother's Call, the whole thing, and the links to how to sign it. We're thinking, on Mother's Day, this is a great opportunity to do this because of the background, but also because of all the mothers there who are doing this. And so I also made a little, like an image that you can put in e-newsletters and wherever you want. So that could be in a faith community bulletin. And so I will give those to Anne, who will give them to you to use however. But Mother's Day, I think, is a perfect day. We're asking all faith communities, not only in San Antonio, but we're working hard in San Antonio, but all over the world. And I know Women Wage Peace have been working on that.
Carolyn, who is the leader of the North American supporters of Women Wage Peace, has the major Jewish center outside of Washington, D.C., that she's got a table for Mother's Day, and she's going to be there doing petitioning. I want to comment that while we will be with Karen and Regula May 8th and 9th at the People's Peace Summit, that you can watch that online. And in many, many cities, they have watch parties. So who wants to have a watch party in San Antonio and 100 people can gather in one room, and, you can wave to us at the People's Peace Summit. I'm in a big Incarnate Word room right now. I could reserve you space if somebody else would just be here to turn on the technology. Anyway, very, very seriously, let us be the people who work together. Now, Lisa Epstein had family members of the hostages speak. I was very, very touched by Dahlia, whose brother-in-law is a hostage. I think about him. I pray for him. I pray for all of them. I am so pleased to see Rola Alaidi with us. They're my family from Gaza. Her father was a physician. I've stayed in their home in Gaza City. I've stayed in the refugee camp Al-Mughazi with her grandmother. That's my family in Gaza. And Rola sends me pictures of the family fleeing from place to place to avoid the bombing, and I just cry. So all of the people of the world are God's family. They're our family. I'm talking too much. We should go into discussion. Lynn, would you like to start the questions, comments?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we were at a retired rabbis conference in January, and there were 4 Reform rabbis from Israel. They're Israeli citizens who have been ordained as Reform rabbis. And from what I understand, they are meeting to do something called Havdalah, which is the ending of our Sabbath every Saturday night. And they have been, I think, in Hostage Square practically every Saturday night. I am speaking personally by saying we in the Jewish community are having a terrible time in terms of the polarization of how people feel about moving forward. And our people, our friends who are Israeli citizens, are devastated themselves by the government of Israel, just like we're devastated with the government of the United States. So this is not just an Israeli Gaza or Israeli Hamas thing. This is a very, very polarized time. I've never known myself to be at such odds with people here in San Antonio in the Jewish community. It's really, really challenging. And so we have to do our best to not only women wage peace, but Jews wage peace within each other. So it's wonderful to know what you are doing, and to think that Vivian Silver was the victim the first day is absolutely out of my comprehension of life. Thank you for what you are doing. Thank you, thank you. And I'm hoping maybe I can get a recording of today to disseminate to our friends up at the Chautauqua Institution, because I think that it would be wonderful for them to hear this too.
I had put into chat, Lynn, that all the recordings of At the Intersection, and I'll do it again, are found at sacred.org. So you can even go back and learn all sorts of good stuff. But they're usually posted by the weekend or Monday. Billy does that for us. So I'll put that link in there as well, and you can just copy it and send it off to Chautauqua and others to do likewise. We have people use the recordings a lot locally. So if you leave here and you suddenly think, oh, somebody that I know or my team at work really needs to hear this. And so instead of just telling them about it, you can go to the link and actually watch the same content and have those kind of conversations. So I'll put that link again into chat. I want to invite others to open it up. I put it kind of a farewell to those who need to get on with their day. But I want to open it up to other questions and comments. If anyone has those, you can feel free to put them in chat or raise your reaction hand, and we'll take more comments and questions. I just want to say the two things. I'm just that the Gandhian part of me, be the change you wish to see in the world, just keeps kind of pumping in my heart this morning. Julia Ward Howe, be the change you wish to see. But now, all these women and others who are stepping up and being the change, the model that we can all see that can strengthen us to do likewise in the world. And all the work that we've done throughout the intersection has always been about collaboration. How do we co-labor together? And the science tells us that that's why the human species is still around, because of collaboration, not survival of the fittest, that whole thing, but because we co-labor together. So thank you for being there.
And it's only going to take 40 million of us in the world. That's about 20 times the population of San Antonio to reach a tipping point. If we can reach a tipping point of 40 million people who simply realize that cooperation, working together, is better than killing each other and fighting with each other. So I'm inviting everybody, be a part of Peace on Earth by 2030. I am really serious. And David Gershom, the founder of it, worked in Rwanda after the terrible violence there. And he's my buddy. And he's like, if people want him to work Israel, Palestine, David is ready to start being a friend, and he's admiring what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So we have a hand up, Marcia.
Hi. I'm Marcia Michael. I wrote in that I was born in New Jersey, but I've been living for the last 50 odd years in Israel. I've had the opportunity both in visiting the States, family and friends, and in speaking with them that they're telling me that all the news about Israel that comes through to America and probably all over the world is just showing the war and the terrible destruction in Gaza, which I agree. On the other hand, I keep saying, but we are over 50 different peace building movements in Israel that are working together now in various different fields, doing things. And they say to me, we don't hear any of this. So my comments are this, and my question is, in your, the American, and I guess you're all just in the Americas, do you hear anything of what's going on other than the horrible news? Do you know, other than being attached to Women Wage Peace? And that's one of the important things that we are asking for in our support groups abroad, to be involved so you get the balance of, we're not all warmongers. In fact, just the opposite. We are valuable people who are trying to make this difference. So my question is, are you able to get the news and hear of what we're doing and what Israelis are doing to promote peace and to try and change the horrific situation that we're finding ourselves in? And if not, how can you join or find out or be involved or get involved with your news agencies and present and trying to translate from Hebrew. Okay, present and exemplify what you know we are doing and what we know you are doing, but the rest of the country doesn't. Your neighbors don't. Is that clear?
Yes, we get very little positive news of peace builders there. That's why you're here this morning, because we need you. But I want to say that major companies owning news outlets also have investments in the weapons industry in the US. And this is a major problem, whether government leaders or big companies profit by building weapons, both small weapons like guns that go into Mexico. Half of our sisters are Mexican. They are so angry that a main thing the US does is build large and small weapons and sell them all over the world.
Can I just add a personal thing? Because Marcia, I lived there for 4 years, and I agree so much with you that there's so much going on that is good. So I'm doing a doctorate, and it's on women's leadership in Palestine and Israel, and I'm hoping to get the stories of all the different women's groups and what you're doing, and whether I do a website with it, video clips. But I'm trying to lift that up and maybe, cross-fertilize where I can. So that's just a personal thing, but we need more of that.
But it's also something many of us can be involved in. Many of us have contacts within the media, and even to share the link and the recording, and then what can that lead to, and what that might do. So
yeah. Raja wants to talk.
Good morning, everyone. A very, very similar thing just happened in the Kashmir area of India. I don't know how many of you here, but I haven't heard anything about it in our news media at all. This is just about 3 days ago. Terrorists in the Kashmir area just opened fire and just killed 21 people, and they were tourists in this area, because in Kashmir, Now they are trying to revitalize the place that has been for years and years in this kind of a situation. And they are what posture the government of India is going to take, what action they are going to take. The whole of India is saying we must retaliate, but there is restraint. And we have to wait for more news about this to come out. It's not in any of the news media here that I can see. It's happened in the Kashmir. All of you, I'm sure, know about the conflict between Kashmir, in the Kashmir area of India. Just
And
wanted
it's
to
up to
mention
us,
that.
right? It's up to us, to get that stuff in the media. We can keep watching and waiting, but it's up to us to make sure it gets there and to speak. We have time probably for one more question. I'm looking in chat to see if there are any questions there. There's one there from Joe. Why is the release of the hostages not a priority for the Women of the Sun?
I could say, first of all, that we're not spokespeople for the Women of the Sun. We are two separate organizations. So that would be number one, and that would be probably better to hear there. But I can tell you that in general, we're both for stopping the war. And as part of that, to have the hostages released. But again, we are not their representatives, so it's probably better for them to speak to that.
But I appreciate the fact that Joe asked a tough question. So we must be in a space where it's okay to ask the tough questions. So I appreciate that.
I might add here that you might have realized when some of the hostages were freed, for every couple of hostages, whether alive or dead, there were hundreds of Palestinian prisoners released. Some of them have been in Israeli jails convicted for murder, and others were still waiting for trials. And I wouldn't want to say that that each one of them had the same guilt or not, but there were. So for the Palestinians, having their people released they probably have a priority in this, for Palestinian society. It's a very, very difficult issue, and I mean,
very much,
exchanging 3 hostages for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. It's a really it's a tough issue. It's a difficult issue, and it's part of this terrible war.
Yes.
I want to add something to that also. In conversations with both my Israeli Arab friends and in listening to the Palestinian women, I think people abroad don't realize that there's a great fear of the police and the security of both countries. Okay, both the Palestinian Authority and the Israeli police and Shabak, the security authorities, to pay attention to people who demonstrate or open their mouths and say something against what their governments are doing. So there's a great fear there, and it could prevent people from being openly advocating the end of the war, which means that stop the killing in Gaza and in the West Bank also, and also release the hostages. It's a very fearful society that we're living in.
Lynn, and I think this will be our last comment.
I so have to admire you who are in Israel under alerts and air raids and everything every single day, and being able to press on. And we're just trying to deal, I think personally, to stay out of fear. Fear for ourselves in my HOA, which is at Clash, which is in our country, Gaza, Israel. So if we can each try to be what I think Sister Martha Ann and Ann Helmke have been, and the three of you, to stay out of fear and to trust. It's to me the only way we're going to get through this, and I so appreciate what Women Wage Peace are doing, as well as Women of the Sun. It's inspiring. Thank you.
I just want to say, yes, that perhaps we can help each other too. If you need information, we could always send you anything to help you as well, because I know it's a very tough situation and not a lot of information you have. So it could be both ways. I hope that we could help each other.
And so I would like to finish our time today, oddly, but in silence, in lots of gratitude, but in memory and honor of Pope Francis, who continually spoke and worked towards peace. And so thank you all for being with us today. May we continue to be inspired by each other and strengthened in our relationships and in our knowledge. Yes, as Martha Ann puts, and may our love and trust be stronger than the fear. Thank you for being with us today.